Real Talk with RJ. Yeah. Thoughts from my lazy boy. Hey y'all, it's RJ here, and this is some more thoughts from my lazy boy edition. It's the night before July 4th, which here in the US we celebrate July 4th as our Independence Day, when we won our independence from Great Britain back in 1776. And as I was thinking about that, I started thinking about how things have been so crazy lately. Like, if your opinion is different from mine, I have to hate you and call you names. Call you, this, that, or the other. It's ridiculous. Like, we're not always going to agree, and that's okay. We live in a country where there can be numerous ideas present and different opinions and different ways of thinking, and then we can have a civilized discussion where you tell me what you think and what you believe, and then I share with you what I think and what I believe. And we can either come to some common ground, or we can agree to disagree and still, be cordial to each other, be kind to each other, and respect each other and respect each other's opinions. It's just crazy to me how it's like we can't do that anymore. We can't have a conversation anymore about what we feel and what we think and what our political opinions are or anything like that. And God forbid we talk about religion. I mean, that's even worse. It's like, I don't know. And I think I shared on another video a while back that I did not vote for Donald Trump, and I did not vote for Hillary Clinton. I voted third party. I voted for Evan McMullin out of Utah, and I felt good about my vote because I voted my conscience. I was led by my principles and my values, and I'm not saying that people who voted for Trump are evil or people who voted for Hillary are evil. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying my personal conscience, my values and principles. I could not vote for a man with the lack of, in my opinion, the lack of moral character like Donald Trump. But then I definitely was not going to vote for a woman with the lack of moral character like Hillary Clinton. It's like they gave us poop and crap for our choices of president in that election. That's how I felt. Okay? That was my opinion on the matter. So I voted for who I thought was a better choice. A man who was former CIA, former military, and who I felt like had a lot of integrity as a person. And, our government has got us so polarized into the two-party system that we all think, well, there's no reason to vote third party or to vote for somebody who's not one of the two main candidates because, they're not going to win anyway. Well, imagine if we stopped thinking that way. Some people who were not one of the two major parties might actually get elected if we stopped thinking that way. But that's just how it is. And it's really sad, you know. I didn't want Trump or Clinton to be my president. So I voted for who I wanted to be my president. My vote went for him, okay? The vote that I made for a third-party candidate was not a vote against Trump or a vote for Hillary or a vote against Hillary or a vote for Trump. It was a vote for Evan McMullin. And that's it. Now, there are a small, tiny handful of things that Trump has done that I've actually thought was pretty good. And then there's a lot of it that I'm just like, what are you doing? Okay, but I take it case by case. I'm trying to give him a chance. Okay, he's the President of the United States. He was elected legally by the Electoral College. So, as a person of faith, as a Christian, it is biblical to pray for those in leadership and to give them respect for the office that they hold. Like him as a man, I don't have a whole lot of respect for. But the office of the president, I do have respect for. So I pray for him. I want him to make good choices for this nation. I don't want to see him fail, because then that means our country's going to fail, ultimately. So I pray for him and I give him the respect. I don't call him names. I don't speak ill of him. The only thing I talk about is, hey, he did this. He signed this policy, or he did this, and I really don't agree with it. That's all I ever say. I don't call the man names, and I definitely don't go after his wife or his children. Like, that's just low. Now, some of you might be saying, well, Trump does that. He calls people names. He tweets all kinds of ridiculousness. I know. Two wrongs don't make a right. It's not right for him to do it. He is 100% wrong for saying and doing some of the stuff that he does. 100%. So, why not take the higher road, you know, that he should be taking? And don't retaliate with the same type of crap. Be the better person. Two wrongs don't make a right. You know? And I've heard, like, you know, the Trump supporters, man, anybody who didn't vote for Trump, anyone who, you know, is maybe more middle of the road with their politics, or maybe a little more towards the left, you know, a little more Democrat with their policies and their values and beliefs and so forth. A lot of these, you know, hardcore Trump supporters can be really mean and nasty to these people. And, like, what are you trying to accomplish? Is calling that person names and bashing them and just throwing out some, you know, trite expressions of just meanness? How is that going to help the situation that the country's in? Like, I don't get it. How does that make anything better? When does it may make you feel good in the moment to trash talk somebody and to call them names, but really, what in the long run does that solve? Nada. Nothing. All it did was make you get on your high horse and feel a little superior for a few minutes because you trash talk and badmouth and name called somebody. And the same can be said for the people who are Democrats who cannot stand Trump. They call names to the Trump supporters. They call the Trump supporters racist and bigoted. And how do you know? Are you in every head of every single person who voted for Trump? Like, that doesn't necessarily mean you're a bigot or a racist. That just means you voted for who you thought you wanted to be president, and it just so happened to be Trump. Like, come on. Let's cut each other some slack, and let's try to understand the other person's perspective. Like, why did you vote for Trump? You ask a lot of people why, and it's not because, oh, he's gonna go in there and kick butt and take names, and he's just gonna... No, a lot of people said I was scared of losing my job. And he's a businessman. He's gonna bring jobs back. Some people, it was completely because they figured he would make a really good Supreme Court nomination, and that was their number one reason for voting for him. There's all kinds of different reasons that people had for voting for him. Now, are there like a fringe, small percentage of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, bigoted, neo-Nazi types that supported Trump? Yeah, sadly. But then there's also people like that small minority of the fringe on the other side of the aisle that are just as cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And we can't let those two fringes of people that are just out of their minds, we can't let them impact the way those of us who kind of fall somewhere a little, not necessarily middle, but a little closer toward the middle on either side, and also those directly in the middle. When those fringes start acting all crazy and doing all kinds of stupid stuff and mean stuff to each other, it can impact how we, in more of the middle sections, start treating each other. And look, I work with all different kinds of people. I have friends who have different opinions, religious beliefs, whatever. And they know where I stand. They know I'm a constitutional conservative. I'm a libertarian, but a constitutional libertarian, and that I'm for limited government, and I want the government out of my life. Quit telling me what to do. Quit taking all my money. Like, that's how I feel. And I'm a Christian. Like, people know that about me who know me. So they know where I stand on various issues. And we don't always agree. And why is that bad or wrong to disagree? Why not both people present your argument, present your case, lay your facts out, lay your point out, say what you want to say about whatever the issue may be, and then be respectful and allow the other person to say what they need to say. And then if you can find any commonalities in there, hey, let's stand together on this issue, or let's find common ground on this issue. But if it's something where there's absolutely no commonalities, okay, hey, we disagree. Thank you for sharing your point of view. I don't agree with it. And that's it. Move on. I don't have to name bash or bash that person or call them names or put them down or troll them on Twitter or go after their kids. Like, what? I just don't understand. Like, this is such a weird place that we're in right now in the country. Like, I don't get it. All I'm saying is, expect more from yourself. Ask yourself, how do I treat the people who don't agree with me, who I don't have a whole lot in common with? Do I still treat them as human beings created in the image of God who deserve dignity and respect and who have a right to believe and to say what they want? Is that how I'm treating them? Or am I trying to find ways to demean them, to name call, and to put them down? On both sides. It's got to stop. It's ridiculous. If we're going to make it, okay, as a country and thrive and survive, we have to start showing compassion and kindness and respect to each other. Because if we don't, united we stand, divided we fall. And with that, Happy Independence Day.